Hello and welcome you watching Versus with me, Sharvin Sen. Over the last few days, a horrific cover-up by the Pune police has now been exposed by Republic TV. Ladies and gentlemen, it started with two innocent lives being taken away by a super rich, super brat. What should have essentially happened is a thorough investigation resulting in justice to those families who've lost their loved ones. Instead, what has happened is that a super brat is being protected by an entire system. Whether at all the police is colluding with them or not, that is a matter of investigation. But the reality is this, that there are glaring loopholes. And the matter of fact is this, that very little has been done by the Pune police to give some sort of recourse to the family members. Now, those who have been orchestrating this cover-up to protect the super rich brat, the driver, central to this entire investigation, has testified to being bribed, confined and threatened by the Agarwals. At the heart of this entire story is the role of the Pune police itself and a mafia-linked family. The Pune police has admitted that yes, there have been lapses to the extent that it could actually damage this entire investigation. One of the officers who's been suspended only because he not only entertained a local legislator, but also did not inform through the wireless to his seniors. And the biggest lapse, ladies and gentlemen, comes in from the fact that the VVIP brat, rather than being taken right from that very spot to the hospital, he was then taken to the police station and then the blood samples were taken. The gap between the first and the second sample was roughly 3.5 hours was the first admission by the Pune police, changed to about 11 hours. So this is exactly what has happened. So tonight we're asking this question, whether at all the Pune police has been working for the people or for those who are rich and who are able to fix the system.
ड्राइवर पे को आमिष शुरुआत में रात में दिखाया गया था कि उसको बख्शीश दी जाएगी, उसको रिवॉर्ड किया जाएगा, उसको पैसे दिए जाएंगे, उसको मुंह मांगा रकम दिया जाएगा। वो खुद गाड़ी चला रहा था, ऐसा प्रकार का बयान वो पुलिस स्टेशन में दे, इस तरह की उसको दबाव टेलीफोनिकली और उसके बाद प्रत्यक्ष लोगों ने आके इसको दिया था। प्राथमिक जो जवाब पुलिस स्टेशन में ड्राइवर ने दिया था, वो गाड़ी चला रहा था, इस प्रकार का बयान उसने दिया था। लेकिन उस रात पुलिस स्टेशन ने जो खातिरी की थी, उनका निष्कर्ष हुआ था कि ये गाड़ी लहान जुवेनाइल आरोपी चला रहा है, इसलिए उसके विरुद्ध 304 का गुना दाखिल हुआ था।
The cover-up to shield the super rich brat exposed. What you just heard was admission of the driver to the Pune police. He was offered a bribe, locked up in the Agarwal bungalow and threatened. The man at the heart of the cover-up, mafia grandfather S.K. Agarwal, has been arrested.
We saw S.K. Agarwal being taken into custody by the Pune police, arresting them in the matter of taking the driver in and kidnapping as well. In fact, this is the residence, as we show you how essentially this gated residence is the place where inside the driver had been kept for over 2 days and he was pressurized.
So far, 3 FIRs have been filed, 2 in the case and 1 against the grandfather, filed by the driver, which was kidnapping and wrongful confinement charges. Today, the mafia-linked grandpa was presented before the court, where the Pune police demanded a 7-day custody of S.K. Agarwal. The cops claimed that they wanted to quiz the killer brat's father and grandfather together. In another big admission at the court, the Pune police admitted to CCTV tampering. The chorus for justice continues to grow across the nation in the Pune VVIP murder case. The discrepancies, cover-ups and delay in justice have exposed the rot in the system. 120 plus hours and no sign of blood report. Republic has been on the trail of the Agarwals. Look at the state of opulence. From inside this bungalow, they plotted the cover-up. On one hand, there's wealth and influence of one family, while on the other hand, there's a tough road for the ordinary citizens whose lives have been ruined by a drunk, super rich, super VVIP brat. Ashwini's family, speaking to Republic, has raised another relevant question.
अगर ऐसा पता चला कि तीन बच्चों को जो बेटी के फ्रेंड्स थे उनको पुलिस ने जो है ना बिठाल के रखा, यानी वो ऐसे टाइम पे हमसे मिले आके कि उन्होंने बताया कि अंकल हमको पुलिस ने बिठाल के रखा और हमसे पूछताछ करते रहे। अब मतलब उनकी एक बात तो इतनी थी कि पुलिस ने हमको कस्टडी में बिठा के रखा, जबकि वो उसके फ्रेंड सर्किल के थे।
मुझे नहीं लगता कि ये एक दो बार अपराध कर चुके हैं। ये जो परिवार है पूरा, ये आदतन अपराधी ही लगते हैं और एक के बाद एक इनके जो गलत काम है वो उजागर होते जा रहे हैं।
6 days since Republic began exposing this cover-up. As the rot emerges, will Ashwini and Anish get justice?
On the verses tonight, Rizwan Siddiqui and Subhas Jha. Let me begin by asking you, Rizwan, as a well-known criminal lawyer too, you ought to admit tonight that if there is a considerable delay in the blood samples, even till today, as we speak, there is no blood test report that has come in. Does it or does it not have a direct bearing on the trial?
You are 100% right. There are serious lapses. I will not defend the actions of the police, which at the face of it are not as per established procedures of law, and also instead demonstrates that they are on the wrong side of law and they are rather taking law in their own hands to defend illegal actions, criminal actions. But at the same time, I have something more to say. What I am seeing here is, without defending the actions of the police, the important part and the most relevant part that I see is a trial by media. And what I see that we are referring to a 2009 case, an FIR filed against the grandfather, without there being any conviction of the grandfather by any court. And then we are trying to show that the entire family is linked to the underworld without there being any conviction, without there being anything on record which suggests that there is underworld link. I will not deny the fact that yes, there is sufficient evidence to show that the current investigation that is being looked into and is being shown to the whole world through your channel clearly suggests and clearly shows that the police actions have been compromised. The acts that the police have indulged in are not as per law, but at the same time, you cannot ignore and overlook the fact that there has to be a fair trial. There has to be a trial which is balanced, and we cannot ridicule and defame anybody on the basis of assumptions and presumptions.
You say, Rizwan,
without there being a conviction.
Rizwan, you said that this is a trial by media, and the fact that we are going back to a case that was registered back in the year 2009. There are two quick points that I would like to make. You could respond after that, but I'll also bring in Subhaja. Number one, why the mafia link becomes extremely important. The reason being that if you go by the order that was passed by a special court of the CBI, it clearly makes a mention of the fact that henchmen of Chota Rajan were basically hired by S.K. Agarwal. Today, I am not saying this, Pune police themselves are saying that the driver was actually threatened by S.K. Agarwal so that the name should not come out. So hence, this entire background of this mafia family should be out for the people to know, Rizwan. I'll take a response from you. I'll take a response from you, Rizwan.
Yeah, sure.
I'll take a response from you, but let me also bring in Subhash Jha. Subhash Jha, Do you essentially believe that this is trial by media? Because had it not been for the media, then this would have been brushed under the carpet. The reality would have been that he would have been, this super rich brat would have been writing cute essays.
I'm not able to hear him.
Subhash,
I'm so sorry.
You need to
I'm so sorry.
unmute yourself.
Yeah. Yes. Now, just now you broke a news that one of the police personnel of Pune Police, who was possibly responsible for ensuring that the police that he was responsible for entertaining rather an MLA at the police station. Now, but then what is there? Now, two people have lost their lives is a fact, and you have just suspended. The suspension would be revoked in the next few days, and he will be back to the same position as he would work. See, I find that there is a decay in the entire system. The state administration has to think positively, has to ponder over as to how the police functions in the state. My concern is this, that nobody seems to be safe in the state at least.
No, but
now, look at the manner in which
But
the
Mr. Jha, the question that Rizwan is raising, Rizwan is essentially saying that why exactly look at a case which goes back to 2009 and bring in the mafia link? How is it really relevant to the case?
No, it could be relevant for the simple reason that you want to show that, look here, even the grandfather had some links in the past with the underworld, and the kind of profession or business he is into. He is into the construction business, and it is not very uncommon for those who are into building construction or real estate business having links with mafia and also with the police underworld. I mean, this is not something which is very uncommon. It is rather very common, I would say. So therefore, but for the media, Rizwan my colleague at the bar would agree with me that but for the media, possibly things would not have even reached to this stage. And this is how an incident like this is an eye-opener, is possibly a warning to everybody, to all the police. Why police in Pune? What about Mumbai? What about other places? Navi Mumbai or Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Thane. Look at everywhere the police functions this way. Those senior police officials, they do not want to leave their comfort zone. They do not want to travel outside their comfort zone and venture into the field. And then they do not address to the core issue. The core issue is this: the entire edifice, if you see, that had this young boy not been allowed to drink or have drinks, hard drinks, a boy who is less than 18 years of age, which is claimed to be. Now, why was he offered drinks at the first place? He was offered drinks because the bar owners knew that nothing is going to happen. There is a saying in Hindi, कि सैया अब डर काहे का जब सैया भय कोतवाल. So सैया is who? Those police personnel, they know that they are in our fold. We are required to pay hafta to them. So therefore, nothing will happen to them, irrespective of to whom do we entertain.
Okay.
So this young boy was entertained, offered drinks, and then he drinks so much, he spends in 1.5 hours 49,000 rupees and drives the car. He is not stopped on the way. He is not stopped by the police.
I just want to take a quick point from both of you. Rizwan, you can respond to the mafia link. Why the emphasis is on mafia link? And I believe that you know, as someone who has covered several criminal investigations, I can only tell you this, Rizwan, that this is one of the things that should have been exposed long back. But Rizwan, your response on that. And second thing, the lapses, the messages that are being sent across after these lapses. We have not really learnt our lesson right from the time that we've seen a BMW case that happened in the national capital, similar sort of a situation. Then you've had several high-profile cases in Mumbai. Nothing really has changed. The system still remains the same. Rizwan.
Yeah. See, there are multiple things that I'm looking at. One is the system, the failure of the system. Second is the institution, that is the judges, that is the judiciary. The third thing is the media. You know, they all play different roles and everybody is responsible to a very, very large extent to build the whole society and to shape the society. Now, as law officers, my learned friend Mr. Jha would agree with me that without there being a conviction order, can we as lawyers, on the basis of assumptions and presumptions, say that just because he's a builder, that means he's an underworld guy? Just because a man has made buildings and is into the construction activity, so he has to be linked to the underworld? We cannot. We cannot dwell on assumptions and presumptions. Had there been a proper sentence, had there been a conviction order against the grandfather, then my take would have been completely different. Now, also keeping in mind that there's a third FIR which I just got to know, where the grandfather has been accused of trying to influence the driver and to ask him to step in to save his grandson. Now, as far as this thing is concerned, this also does not demonstrate or does not suggest or prove that there has to be some element of, or basically some sort of a underworld link here also, because see, these are personal issues. A
Right.
family member stepping in, trying to take law in their own hands. Well, these things are done regularly. No, forget builders, forget anybody from the film industry or a celebrity. Even a common man on the road would step in and try to do something as damage control procedures and damage control measures. So I'm not saying that what he has done is right. I'm saying he's 100% wrong. I'm saying that he's trying to do things which were not required, unwarranted, uncalled for, and also illegal. But nonetheless, both these things do not try to demonstrate that there is an underworld link. My only issue is that because this is a trial by media, I'm not trying to say TRP, so don't get me wrong. But what I'm trying to suggest and what I'm trying to say is that by giving that underworld link every now and then, we are trying to influence the minds of general public. We should rather focus on the act done by a minor. We should focus on the act that the Juvenile Justice Board did not do things which were required to be done.
Okay.
The SM which came into. So basically, we have to be very fair in a trial. Let us be fair in a trial, and the media also has to play a very responsible role to ensure that the trial is fair. There's no influence. But what we are trying to see here, or what I rather see here, is that there's a lot of influence and there's a lot of
But
pressure
unfortunately,
being built up by the media,
Rizwan,
which was not required.
okay, but unfortunately what happens is that not everyone has been perhaps adhering to the rules, to the laws that have been put out, and had it not been for the media, perhaps this would have been fixed long back. The very fact that you have the Juvenile Justice Board, putting out an order like that, you would have had the same VVIP brat simply writing an essay and traveling along with the transport department.
You're doing a wonderful job by pulling up the police. You're doing a wonderful job by pulling up the police.
Yeah.
You should do. As a matter of fact, you're doing a superb job. Pull up the police officers for doing a shoddy job, for trying to influence the entire investigation, for trying to show biasness. You are doing a wonderful job. The only problem is that, harming the family name, reputation, and image was unwarranted.
I don't see when you have lost, unfortunately, you're not looking at the other aspect. There are two other families who have been completely destroyed.
No, I agree.
They've been completely destroyed. I just want to give one last word, Rizwan. You made your point. Let me also just quickly give one last word to Advocate Subhash Jha also.
Yes.
You're right, Shravan, that but for media trial, I have been a defense lawyer for many years, and I have been always against the media trial. But nevertheless, but you must also realize one thing, that you're right, Shravan, that but for the media, things would not have come to this limelight. Look at, I draw a comparison between two incidents. One incident which has not been taken up by media, or at least your channel has not taken up as yet. Look at what happened to that investigation, and look at the investigation in this case. Here too, there are loss of life. Every human life is important, is so precious to us. And we cannot afford to have people losing lives. They are required to be cherished in our country as well. So I have been a champion of human rights myself. But nevertheless, but for the media, things would not have reached to this stage. In Pune, 2 lives have been lost. In Mumbai, we have a huge hoarding of 120 feet by 120 feet collapsing, and 18 precious human lives have been lost.
Right.
Not even one single policeman has been booked. Now the license is issued by the Commissioner of Police Traffic. Now, and
Yes,
then what
correct.
about the corporation
Okay.
officials?
Subhash.
Not even one single corporation official
Right.
so far has been
Gentlemen.
prosecuted.
Gentlemen, I'm running short of time, but thank you very much for joining us on the Versus. In fact, several questions would still be asked about the
Yes.
conduct, or many would say misconduct, of the Pune police. Well, please vote and improve India's voting performance exactly the way Valvoline full synthetic oil improves the performance of your car. Switch to synthetic by Valvoline. Now switching our focus with Deepak Suresh Kumar.
There was a time in Jammu and Kashmir when voting meant putting your life on the line. But now things have changed. After Baramulla, Anantnag and Rajouri has recorded a massive voter turnout this time around. We'll tell you everything about the polling in Anantnag Rajouri at 6 p.m. on Across the Republic.
Pune Porsche crash cover-up exposed. Mafia-style attack by grandpa. 2 cars, 6 men and gang war in Udupi.